At around 12 p.m. on February the 25th, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Armenia released a statement calling for the resignation of the Armenian PM and the government, raising fears of a military coup. The Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, the government, will no longer be able to make adequate decisions in this critical situation for the Armenian people, the statement read. The statement protested against the dismissal of the First Deputy Chief of the General Staff, who was recently dismissed at the request of the PM. In such difficult conditions for the country, such a decision is an anti-state, irresponsible step. The statement went on to say, the General Staff statement continued, the armed forces patiently tolerated the attacks aimed at discrediting the armed forces by the current government, but everything has its limits. The statement concluded by saying that they are warning against the use of force, and that the army has always been with the people. Pashinyan soon after released a statement himself, saying that he considers the statement by the General Staff to be an attempted military coup. He went on Facebook Live saying, "I am inviting all our supporters to Republic Square right now. I will address the public in the near future." Pashinyan also dismissed the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces just after the release of the Armed Forces statement. However, it is worth noting that so far, President Armen Sarkisyan has not signed off on the dismissals. Later, the opposition Homeland Salvation Movement welcomed the statement of the General Staff of the Armed Forces and expressed support. This was stated by former PM Vazgen Manukyan, who is the prime ministerial candidate of the movement. The movement itself held a rally from 3 p.m. in Yerevan's Freedom Square. A number of political forces also released individual statements, reacting to today's events. The Republican Party, as well as former President Robert Kocharyan, released statements supporting the statement by the General Staff and called on people to join the rally by the Opera House. The Prosperous Armenia Party called on the authorities of Armenia to take the relevant steps to ensure there is no bloodshed. It went on to call on the state institutions of Armenia to not act against the people. The Bright Armenia Party called on the PM to resign, and also stated that the statement by the General Staff did not signify a military coup. Later, the President of the Republic too released a statement. He said, quote, "I call on everyone, state bodies, law enforcement agencies, political forces, and all citizens to show restraint. Our people cannot afford to be split. Any attempt to destabilize the state must be rejected." Around 4 p.m., Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan held a rally at Republic Square. He stated that the armed forces cannot be involved in internal political processes. The army should obey the political forces which were elected by the people. He went on to say that this was a military coup attempt, but the people will not allow a coup to take place in Armenia. In terms of the international arena, the spokesman of the Russian president, Dmitry Peskov, stated that the situation in Armenia is the country's internal affair. Peskov did, however, express concern about the day's events. Turkey strongly condemned what it called an attempted military coup in Armenia. This was said by Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu in a meeting with his Hungarian counterpart. And Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev moreover commented, stating that, quote, "Armenia has never been in such a bad situation. Clashes and arrests following the crisis have undermined the foundations of democracy." He blamed both the current and former ruling forces of Armenia for the situation.